Should the Buffalo Bills trade up or trade down? The anticipation is driving me nuts. Yo ho ho, Bills Mafia. Welcome to yet another edition of the Dom Mafia Show. As always, your host, Dan Mitchell. Say that you're new here. I'm an avid member of the Bills Mafia, and I regularly put out videos about the Buffalo Bills and the NFL in general. If that is your cup of tea, I am forcing you to hit that subscribe button right now, and also smash the ever-living out of that like button. Trust me, you will not be sorry. Trade up or trade down. I feel like this has been circulating around the news for the past couple of weeks, and I know, including myself, I have been on the train of some little kid on Christmas, just waiting to run out under the tree and see that the Buffalo Bills traded up to number 15 for Bijan Robinson. However, like myself and many others, we're more than likely going to be disappointed. While it's not the sexiest thing on the face of the planet, more and more signs are just pointing to the fact that the Buffalo Bills are going to trade down, grab some additional picks in the second, and just focus on their overall core. But in this video today, I wanted to explore both possibilities as far as trading up, and then also the more than likely scenario is that we trade down. Starting off with trading up, I mean, it's exciting, right? The only reason a team would want to trade up is really to get that one immediate impact player, such as maybe JSN or Bijan Robinson. Those sort of players that could really dip into an offense immediately and be able to make some sort of splash moves. Now, looking at how all of this would be structured, in my eyes, I feel like that the Buffalo Bills really only have 2 to 3 potential trade partners at this point. But at the end of the day, it all depends on how the draft is going, how these two teams see where they're fitting in the entire equation. But I believe that the only 2 true possibilities are the Baltimore Ravens at number 22 and the Minnesota Vikings at 23. Some argue that Washington's pick at 16 might be something that we can do to jump up and grab that guy, but I feel like the more and more that I look at it, I feel like I'm starting to talk myself out of the idea that trading up would be in the best interest of the Buffalo Bills, right? Because when you look at it from an objective standpoint, you are getting rid of some fantastic assets. And let's be honest with ourselves, the Buffalo Bills have a lot of holes that need to be filled. I would rather above average talent in the second and the third round, just right to solidify our depth, than just going on ahead and jumping up high into the draft and literally just rolling the dice on a star player, if you will. I feel like we learned that lesson the hard way last year with Von Miller, right? The entire season, we were absolutely eating offensive lines. The entire D-line was going great, and it was because of Von Miller and the distraction that he put out there. And then what happens? He tears his ACL, he's out for the season, and our defensive line once again is absolute dog. And so trading up right to that value, you know that you're going to be getting away like 3 potential pieces, right? Probably a second round. I mean, maybe we'll ship off Ed Oliver or something along those lines, or somebody else that we wanted to use as far as the package to get to where the Ravens or the Vikings are. But I just don't see it happening. I would be sincerely surprised if that is the case. Oh no, Dan, not another ad read. Trust me, you are going to thank me for this. Now, as many of you know, I work extremely long hours, 7 a.m. until I about pass out at 11 or midnight Monday through Friday. And you would think that I would be able to go to sleep and rejuvenate. You're absolutely wrong. My mind is still going a million miles a second, and for the most part, I'm staring at my ceiling until 3 a.m. Now, that is something that I have accepted for myself, but I needed to make a change. I needed to start taking naps, but once again, I can't nap either. Whether or not that it's my FOMO, or whether or not that I just can't get comfortable enough, or it's too bright, I have had no such luck until I ended up finding the Manta sleep mask. Now, little do you know, Manta truly believes sleep needs to be the number 1 priority in order to achieve that particular level of success. Now, these things are ridiculously comfortable, and literally the second that you put it on, you feel like you're right next to Aaron Rodgers during one of his darkness retreats. I mean, look at this. Literally can't see shit. So you know what? I should probably apply to officiate in the NFL. Prerequisites right here. Now, Manta has several selections on their website. This particular is the Sleep Mask Pro. This company and this mask has really been able to help me prioritize what is most important, and that is my sleep, so I can keep on giving you that juicy content, baby. So whatever you're doing, go to that link in my bio and make sure you put in the code DONMAFIA, and they're gonna give you an extra 10% off your first order. Trust me, you will not regret this. Night night, bitches. Now, trading down, like Brandon Beane was quoted, if he was in Vegas, then he would put money down on him moving back, then moving forward in the draft. For a lot of reasons. There's really not a lot of first grade talent in the first round, and even on the defensive side of things, once you end up getting to number 27, a lot of those guys that the Buffalo Bills are targeting are more than likely still going to be there in the early to mid round of the second. And so y'all have heard me absolutely love Jack Campbell. I think that he's a great linebacker. I think that he is a great fit for the Buffalo Bills. But even if we were to pick him at 27 at that point, I would even consider that to be a reach. As far as trade partners going on into the second, I would say virtually like the first 15 would 110% take a call from Brandon Beane going into it. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to giving away 27, and then we end up grabbing Campbell in the early to mid second, and then boom, just a couple of picks later, we're right back there. So we can pick up that interior offensive lineman, maybe even a defensive tackle, wide receiver. I think that this is the move for the Buffalo Bills at this point. Now, I'm not saying that we wouldn't be able to find a gem at number 27, but really just based off of the holes and the needs the Buffalo Bills have at this point, it just doesn't really make a lot of sense for us to stay there. The draft grades simply just aren't there. So outside of that, Bills Mafia, I just wanted to leave you with that. Please sound off in the comments and let me know what you think is going to happen, what you want to happen, and specific draft targets. Side comment, I am working on a video where I actually critique your mock drafts for 3 rounds. I'm hoping to get a couple of more submissions. Simply just tweet me at realdanmitchell, screenshot your final mock draft, and then hopefully I'll be able to include you when I release it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow. Oh, and let's go Buffalo.